Mr Speaker.
I call David Bennett.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I'm going to do something in this parliament I never thought I'd do, and that is agree with New Zealand First. And that is that this is New Zealand First party policy that the Labor Party has taken off them. This is the Labor Party taking Winston's home baking and trying to make it into their own. This is the Labor Party just going for electorate votes, not looking after the true principles that made that party the Labor Party it used to be. And people like Nick Leggett understand that the Labor Party has moved away from what it should be, because this bill shows, Mr Speaker, that the Labor Party, just like its New Zealand First Party colleagues, are against trade, they're against immigration, they're against an open and free New Zealand. They want to create more boundaries around New Zealand. They want to restrict government and what it can do in its procurement. They want to stop New Zealand businesses trading. They want to stop New Zealanders embracing the wide cultures and that will come and make this country the strong place it will be in the future. And this is just another example, Mr Speaker, of the anti-free trade agenda that New Zealand First and the Labor Party espouse in this House day after day. This is just another example where the Labor Party doesn't want to engage with the rest of the world and believes that it knows best and it can govern and it can decide and it can sell and it can buy and it can do everything to make a hunky-dory place for New Zealanders. It is New Zealand First Labor Party thinking it's knowing better than New Zealanders. It's New Zealand First and Labor Party in their elite political establishments thinking that they are the ones that determine the future of the country. That is not the way that New Zealand's determined. It's determined by the businesses and people out there going out and competing against other businesses and delivering the best products. Why shouldn't the New Zealand government get the best products available for it? Why shouldn't we trust New Zealand companies to go out there and beat foreign companies selling to ourselves? Why shouldn't we trust New Zealand companies to go out there and beat other countries' companies to sell to their governments? The Labor Party does not trust New Zealand business, does not believe in New Zealand business, and does not want to give them that opportunity to compete on a level playing field. They believe that New Zealand businesses need to be in an environment which is controlled by 20 or 30 people over there and by one person over there. And that is what the New Zealand First Labor Party vision of trade is all about. And that is against the principles of what New Zealanders want. And Mr Speaker, what is going to be the next limit? Just say you have two New Zealand companies competing to deliver a product for the New Zealand government. Is it going to be the one that has the more union membership that would get the contract? Is that how the Labor Party is going to do it next? What's their next stage of their test after New Zealanders? And you get Annette King being very angry over there beside her leader because she's very defensive of him trying to take a New Zealand First Party policy and put it in a Labor wrapping and sell it to the community today. And I wish the Labor Party would actually support New Zealanders and support New Zealand business, rather than trying to say that New Zealand businesses aren't good enough to compete, aren't good enough to succeed. And that's what they are saying in this bill here tonight. And it is partly the New Zealand First policy that we always expect. And we know that's going to come from them. We know that they're against trade. We know that they're against migration. We know that they want to go back to the 1950s, and we know that they just not know the future of this country. But the Labor Party has stooped to that level. The Labor Party has given up its traditions of a free and open New Zealand. The Labor Party has joined with the New Zealand First Party at the hip. And I say to the New Zealand First Party, when your agreements, whatever you're doing with the New Zealand Labor Party during the election, make sure you get some copyright clauses in there, because they're taking your policies, they're taking them off you, and it's plagiarism of the highest degree, as that member says over there. And that's a disgrace from the Labor Party in this parliament. Yes, they're counting down. Mr Speaker, we don't want a fortress New Zealand. We want a New Zealand that's open, free and innovative, and we don't need Labour Party and New Zealand First politicians to tell us how to run our country.
No, that's not necessary. That's not necessary. You can see the screens and I'm standing, so I'm called order. I'm going to call